this? Well, let me introduce you to fancy candies, but better. Fancy Candies But Better is a series of mods for Fancy Candies, made by developers Mr. Manatee and Nephorite. Rather than focusing on horror and being scary like the original Fancy Candies games, Fancy Candies But Better focuses on making, well, better gameplay. For example, a huge fault of FNAC 1 was that pretty much every animatronic except Blank was dealt with the exact same way. So, in Fancy Candies 1 But Better, everyone was reworked to have new and unique mechanics. So, how did Fancy Candies 3 But Better change the gameplay? Well, a lot. Rat works the exact same as he did in normal FNAC 3, except he's much faster and dodges the flashlight a lot more, so he's a bit harder to deal with. However, Cat has been completely reworked. Remember in base FNAC 3, where Cat would just spawn at the edge of the bed and you just swat him away like a fly? Well, those days are gone. Cat will now act similar to how Rat does, but instead of doing his attack and then going under the bed for his bed phase, once he gets in through one of the doors, he'll start under the bed, then you'll have to lure him out and do his attack. Now we have to deal with both Rat and Cat at the same time, and you can probably see how this becomes a problem. Now we're required to stall Rat at the doors when luring Cat out from the bed, as anytime Rat gets in the room when Cat is currently mid-attack, we lose. This creates a cycle that goes something like this. Stall Cat at the doors, then let Rat in and do his attack. Once Rat is under the bed, find what side he's on and go to the opposite side to lure him out. Clear him from the room. Then Cat should enter your bed. Stall Rat at the doors, then look at what side Cat is on. Lure Cat out, then do his attack. Now just repeat this cycle. If that sounds pretty complicated, we're just getting started. Sure, dealing with this new buffed Rat and Cat can be pretty difficult, but how much harder can it get? Remember, this isn't just Rat and Cat. This is Rat and Cat all challenges. The game even gives like an ominous menu change when you add all the challenges on. So, now that we know what Rat and Cat can do on their own, the next step was to start adding challenges. Normally, you can select Rat and Cat to either be on easy mode or hard mode. On easy, they'll twitch less, attack for less time, and overall just be, well, easier. But there's really a third difficulty here, and that's putting on the two challenges for Shadow Rat and Shadow Cat. These challenges not only make Rat and Cat faster, have longer attacks, and dodge more often, but they also change the entire cycle of the night. Shadow Cat will no longer appear at the doors before running into your room and camping under your bed. Instead, he instantly enters your room and never leaves the bed. He also now has two attack phases, one short one right after you lure him out from under the bed, and then a full-length attack right afterwards. Shadow Cat has a lot of RNG that we'll get more into later, but just so you know for now, Shadow Cat is much harder than Shadow Rat. Shadow Rat's core mechanics don't change, he just dodges and twitches more frequently now. Now, because Cat enters the bed immediately, the overall cycle of the night changes a bit. The moment the night starts, start up the tape player and look under the bed. Check which side Shadow Cat is on, then go to the same side that he's on. This seems like a stupid idea. Shouldn't you always go to the opposite side of where the bed animatronic is located? Well, if I were to do that, and Rat were to spawn anywhere except opposite of Cat, Rat would enter and I would lose. So, you want to wait on the same side that Cat is until you hear Rat knocking on the door. Then, flick your mouse over the three positions that Rat could possibly be in. Once you've stalled Rat, then Cat should come from the bed. Now, do both of Cat's attacks. Once you've gotten rid of Cat, check wherever Rat is, but don't stall him. Remember that Cat never leaves the bed, so he starts waiting to come up the moment you finish his attack, meaning that stalling Rat for any amount of time will get you killed by Cat mid-attack. Now, let Rat enter and do his attack. Go down to the tape player to stop and rewind it. Then check which side Rat is on. Cat will also be under the bed, but Rat will always come up before him. So if you see Cat, go to the same side that he's on. If you see Rat, go to the opposite side. Shadow Rat is much faster to kill in these bed phases if you can't tap his head here. So here are some guidelines to show exactly where you can be considered on the opposite side of Rat and Cat when they're under the bed. It doesn't matter where you're facing, it's purely based on your mouse position. Once Rat leaves, start the tape back up, then go to the same side that Rat was on. Remember that Cat will always be opposite of Rat under the bed. So we're just going to lure Cat out of the bed, then install Rat again to repeat the cycle. Now, repeat this for about 5 minutes, and you'll have beaten the night with Shadow Rat and Shadow Cat. Now we just have 3 more challenges to add. The next challenge is Classic Cat. Classic Cat is just Cat from Vanilla FNAC 3. So now we have to deal with Rat, Cat, and Cat again, or Classic Cat. Classic Cat will start on either side of the bed and slowly creep up from the bed, playing breathing sounds once he's close. He'll progress much faster when you're turned away from him, so you always want to make sure that he's on the same side as you whenever possible. If you flash Classic Cat the whole way down on one side, he'll move to the other, and we can use this to our advantage. So, with Classic Cat now active, we have to alter our cycle a little bit to make sure he moves with my bed. First, start the tape and check which side Shadow Cat is on. You want to move Classic Cat to the same side as Shadow Cat, so if he's already there, just let him be. Then, stall Rat and do Shadow Cat's first phase. The moment Shadow Cat's first phase is done, flick your mouse to the bottom corner of the screen and flash Classic Cat down. You want to move him to the opposite side of the room here, as we know that Shadow Cat will move to the other 2 locations when completing his first phase. Once you've completed Shadow Cat's second attack, watch to see where Rat is. If Rat is on the same side as you, keep Classic Cat there. If not, move Classic Cat to the other side. Once Rat's attack is done and you look under the bed, you want to make sure that Classic Cat is always on the same side as Rat. Then lure Rat out from the bed as usual, and flash Classic Cat down after getting rid of him. Then you can restart the tape player and repeat the cycle. As you can see, with only 3 animatronics, this night gets pretty complicated, but we still have 2 challenges left. The next challenge is Hard Cassette. Hard Cassette doesn't alter the cycle in any way, it just makes the tape player much more important. Now, the tape must be playing in order for you to stay awake. Once the tape player is stopped or rewinding, the screen will slowly fade and you'll fall asleep, causing an instant death. Falling asleep is never really a problem. Throughout all my attempts on this challenge, it never really happened. However, Hard Cassette has a second buff, one that's much more important. With Hard Cassette on, playing the tape player will no longer speed up the time of playing. This takes the night length from roughly 4 minutes and 30 seconds to 8 whole minutes. Because this night length is so long, you'll need to stay consistent in controlling your grips for much better luck. However, even with all the challenges that I've talked about so far, this mode would still only place 70, maybe 60 at best on the maximum list. There is one challenge that is so brutal, it strikes fear into the heart of anyone who has ever touched FNAC 3. Laser Pointer is a super
Oh my gosh, I flipped true one. It's not really that much, but holy crap. Bro, this is at 5:51 in the morning, bro. Holy crap. Holy crap. Yo, I could genuinely beat this, but I didn't even get to the hard part yet.